Welcome to episode number 9 of From Ordinary to Extraordinary, where we explore the psychology and the strategies of ultimate performance, mastery, genius, greatness. I want to thank you for being here. You know, we come here live every single Thursday at 11 a.m. Got a really special treat for you for next week, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. We're going to wait for some people to get in here. But let me just tell you something that you may or may not know. In fact, before I tell you that, let me tell you what the topic is today. The topic is Awaken the Titan. I'm going to challenge you today to awaken the Titan. You know, there is a Titan. There is a giant. There is a genius within you. And here's the thing that you may or may not know. You were born to be great. Whether you're consciously aware of that or not, it's true nonetheless. You were born with unique gifts. You were born with a unique genius. You know, I love that word genius because it's Latin for soul or your higher self. Your genius is your soul or your higher self. You were born to be great in a specific, unique area. And I'm going to challenge you to do that. I'm going to challenge you to become great. You have a gift that I don't have. You have a gift that your friends don't have. You have a gift that no one else has in the exact same way that you have. And so, even though you have a gift, which you do, don't expect greatness to come easy. It won't. It's going to take a lot of hard work. And you're like, oh, James, you're always talking to us about hard work. Yes, because becoming great does take work. It takes perseverance. It takes tenacity. It takes grit. I love that word, grit. Your grit is more important than your genetics. And so this true Titan within you, this hero, is really a monomaniac on a mission. Now, what does that mean? You know, if you look at the word mono, it means one. A monomaniac means you must pick your one thing. Your one thing, and be on a mission with that one thing. Now, don't expect people to understand you. In fact, they won't. Because a monomaniac is not what we're encouraged to be in today's world, right? I mean, we've been conditioned, maybe you've been conditioned, that the well-rounded person is the most happy, successful, and fulfilled. But that's just not true. You know, when you look at the people who are the most wealthy, the most happy, the most successful, the most fulfilled, they know exactly why they are here. They have their one thing, not two things, not three. Now, you see, if you are good at multiple things, that is a blessing, but it's also a curse. Because how many horses can you ride successfully at one time? The answer's simple, right? You can only ride one. And so you got to pick your horse. I'm going to challenge you. If you want to become a Titan, if you want to truly become great, you've got to pick your horse. And you've got to ride it with everything that you've got. And once again, don't expect other people around you to understand you. Don't expect them to support you. They won't. You know, one of my favorites, Ralph Waldo Emerson, said, to be great is to be misunderstood. Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to be misunderstood to actualize your greatness and to bring your genius and greatness to the world? Are you willing to maybe stand alone? Are you willing to have the people that love you the most not understand you, maybe not support you? Because if you're not willing, let me suggest to you that you may never actualize your greatness. You may not awaken the Titan that's just dormant. It's just sleeping. It's there. That seed of greatness is within you, waiting to wake up, waiting to be actualized. You see, you have a unique purpose in this universe. And if you don't fulfill that purpose, there's a void in the universal plan, because I can't do it. Neither can your friends, your family, your work associates. Only you can fulfill your purpose. Are you with me? Now, you see, most of us are programmed in the herd mentality. We want to follow the masses. And that's a surefire way to not be great. You see, all of us, myself included, have been programmed in the herd mentality. It's part of our genetics, actually. It goes all the way back to when we were on the Serengeti. And you know, when we were on the Serengeti and we were constantly being threatened by wild beasts and foe, it served us to be in the herd mentality because there was a power in the group. But we're not on the Serengeti anymore. And now that mentality has outworn its welcome. Evolution always moves forward. You with me? And so we've got to be able to break free. We don't have wild beasts after us in today's world. You know, seeking the support of others is like Monopoly money. You ever play Monopoly as a kid? You know, I don't know if it's still around. I think it is. But Monopoly money, you know, it looks nice. You can stack it up, and it looks pretty good sitting there, and you feel kind of good about having a stack, but you can't spend it. Right? And by the way, it hinders the support of others, is like the Monopoly money. You can't spend it, and it hinders creativity and self-reliance. Now, someone asked me here on Facebook yesterday, I think it was, James, how does it hinder creativity and self-reliance? Well, because if we're seeking support of others, then we have to think like others. We're not going to walk our own walk. We're not going to live our own life. I mean, let me tell you some things here that maybe push your buttons, because that's part of my job. You know, I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to make you be better. And any good coach worth his or her salt is not here to make you feel better, they make you be better. Because what I know is as you become better, you're automatically going to feel better. Does that make sense to you? I'm sure it does. And so, you know, the herd mentality, wanting to be liked, put this in your notes. You can choose to focus on being great, or you can choose to focus on being liked. But you can't focus on both. Because the fact is, the people who are the greatest, the people who, you know, bring innovation, bring new emergence into the world, new ideas, creativity, they don't think like everyone else thinks. Let me give you an example. You know, Stephen Jobs. A lot of people didn't like him when he was alive. Some people thought he was just an asshole, frankly. And he was tough. From everything I've read and heard, and I'm sure you have as well, he was tough to work with because he was committed to excellence. His design genius, the design genius behind Jobs at the time was Johnny Ive. And there was one point in time, as the story goes, that Jobs was really coming down hard on one of their team members. And as they walked away, Johnny Ive said to Steve, you were way too tough on that team member. Steve stopped. He looked him right in the eye. And he said, Johnny, stop being so vain. You're more concerned, he continued, about being liked than you are putting out world-class work. Hey, I've just been notified, Alejandra, I hope I said that right. Alejandro, see, my producer here has sloppy handwriting. Alejandro, my apologies. You just invited someone to join us, and I want to thank you for that. That means a lot to me, and it'll mean a lot to them. And I encourage all of you to invite anyone who needs to awaken the Titan, anyone who needs to understand their greatness, anyone who wants to bring their genius to the world to join us here. Anthony, like arms bigger than my head, Anthony. Hey, buddy, thanks for inviting some people. Thanks for being here. Keep up the great work. Let me do Jobs again, because that you know, I got off topic here because I wanted to thank you for sharing, but let me do this again because it's important. Johnny Ive said, hey, you're being too tough on that person, and Jobs' response was, stop being so vain. You're more concerned about being liked than you are putting out world-class work. You see, put this in your notes. You are not here to make friends. You're not here to make enemies either. You're here to make a difference. You're here to make an impact. You get that? You're not here to make friends. You're not here to make enemies either. You're here to make a difference. You're here to make an impact. And when you focus on the difference and the impact, it might be that you don't make friends. So be it. So be it. Because if you're going to stand for greatness, you're going to have to be willing sometimes to stand alone. Now, here's the key to awakening the Titan and bringing your greatness and your genius to the world is you have to know what your genius is. I mean, you might be great at art. You might be great at math. You might be great at with animals. You might be great with analytics. You might be great with painting. You might be great with accounting. Oh my God, God bless you if you are. That ain't me. You might be great with new ideas, creativity, innovation. You know, I could go on. But see, here's the fact. You were not encouraged to find your unique gifts and genius when you were young. What you're encouraged to do in the school system is comply. What you're encouraged to do in the school system is read, remember, and repeat. What you're encouraged to do in the school system is to follow the money, not the meaning, the money. And that's a surefire way to end up in what I call the 71% club. We've talked about this before, and you don't want to be part of that. The vast majority of people are unhappy. They're disengaged. They're not fulfilled doing what they do because they're doing the wrong thing. You've got to have the courage to stop doing what you're not supposed to be doing so that you can start doing what you're here to do. Because you have a unique gift. You might be great in relationships. You might be great in communication. And by the way, traditional school system isn't going to reward you. You know, I got a C in college in speech. I got a C, all right? And that's what I've ended up doing as a profession, is speaking and writing. So traditional school system, you know, even Howard Gardner from Harvard University says, unless you're going to be a professor in math and English, traditional schooling doesn't prepare you for much in real life. I'm not against traditional schooling. What I am for, though, is you finding your genius. You finding your greatness. Because when you do that, you will be fulfilled. You will be fulfilled. You will awaken the Titan, the giant within you. And you will become great, your own personal brand of greatness. But you've got to do what you're here to do. I can't tell you what that is. I can help you find it. But you have to find it for yourself. And by the way, you already know. You've had this nudge since the time you were really small. What you're good at. This Titan is waiting to be awakened. You know, let me go back to this idea of wanting to be liked. Because it's so deeply ingrained in your DNA. It's so deeply ingrained in your genetics that it's like a monster. It's part of the resistance. And you're going to have to break out. Now remember, it's not that you want to create enemies. You don't. It's not that you don't care. You care enough. Get this. Put this in your notes. It's not that you don't care. It's that you care enough to bring your greatness to the world. Even if that means people don't understand you. Even those that love you the most. It's not because they're bad people. They're not bad people. They're good people. You know, I remember when I left AT&T in 1992, I was a mid-level manager. I had a great retirement. I had a good salary. I had benefits. And my beloved mother, who I love dearly, you know, said to me, son, are you really sure you're doing the right thing? I mean, you got a great job and you got great benefits and you got great retirement. I was also in a job that I had outgrown. I had leapt off into the unknown. And that was in 1992, and here I am, right? Been a lot of ups and downs. It's been a hell of a ride. If you know anything about my life, it's been a real hell of a ride, you know? But there's never going to be a time where I look back at the end of it all and go, damn, that was boring, right? Because you see, the greatest regret you ever have is not when you're unwilling, when you say yes, easy for me to say, let me start again. The greatest regret you ever had is not the times you said yes. The greatest regret you're ever going to have are the times you're unwilling to say yes, because you look back and you go, oh my God, I could have done something great. I could have taken that opportunity. I could have gone for that hill. I could have become a titan. I could have used my genius. I could have lived my own life versus the life that my parents and my clergy and my school systems and my social circles wanted me to live. You see, they're not going to support you. It's not because they're bad people. Even my mother didn't support me because of her own fear. Her own resistance kicked up within her. Her old programming kicked up within her. You with me? You know, and people tend to project their own fears and their own inadequacies and their own self-limitations upon you. Not because they're bad people. They're doing the best they have with what they have, and that's what they have. And so you got to understand it. You see, when we see other people living their true, authentic self, and we're not, when they're pursuing their purpose and their greatness, and we're not, it drives us crazy. It drives us crazy because they represent the courage that we don't yet have. You follow this? Are you getting this? This is a game changer. I promise you it is. You got to break out of the Serengeti. Come on. You know, you got to break out of the mediocre masses. And I say that with all due respect. But most people are living mediocre lives. I mean, research proves this. Most people end their life with research proves the number one thing that people experience at the end of their life is regret. They didn't really live, not truly live. And please don't confuse existing with living. They're not the same thing. They're not the same thing. Now, 3 things I want to give you today that'll help you awaken your own Titan. Your Titan, not mine, but yours. You ready? Put this in your notes. Number 1, decide. Decide. I love that word. You know, I'm a student of language, and the suffix on the word decide comes from the Latin meaning to cut off from. When you make a true decision, it's like an incision. You cut off from all other opportunities. When you make a true decision, very few people have real strong decision-making muscles. You know, most people say they make a decision, but they really don't. Because when you make a true decision, you burn the boats, right? You knock down the bridges. You cut off from everything else. Decide that you're going to be a Titan, your own unique brand of Titan, your own unique greatness, not mine, not your wife's, not your husband's, not your friends, not your family, not your Facebook community, but you. You're going to be a Titan, and you're going to be great in what you are here to do. See, it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Nothing is greater than anything else. Maybe you're here to be a great parent. You can be a Titan as a parent. Maybe you're here to be a great artist. Maybe you're here to be a great athlete. Maybe you're here to paint, you know, be the next Van Gogh in your own way. Maybe you're here to be the next Steve Jobs in your own way. Whatever it is, it's all greatness. If everybody was after the same thing and doing the same things, what a boring world that would be. You have a unique purpose. Let me help you find it. Secondly, decide that you're going to find that and you're going to play your A game. Your strengths, your gifts. Let go of all the things. I call this strategic quitting. You know, some people say quitters never win. Well, that's a crock, right? I mean, that means if you smoke and you quit, you're a loser. That means if you're an alcoholic and you quit drinking, you're a loser. No. Winners quit all the time. They practice what I call strategic quitting. We've talked about this before. They quit doing the things they're not supposed to be doing so they can focus on the things that they must do. You know, I was really blessed to build a $10 million business, but I didn't do it. My team did it. The only contribution I had was I surrounded myself with a team of people whose A game was my B and C game. If I was continually playing my B and C game, I'm never going to play my A game. And I'm not going to be great in my A game. You with me on this? You've got to find your A game. Decide. Cut off. You know, and the demons are going to kick up inside of you. We've talked about this before. The demons, we talked about this last week. If you didn't see last week's episode, go back and check it out. The demons are like, I can't make money at this. I can't earn a living at this. I've got kids, James. I've got a mortgage, James. I got a family, James. All that stuff is true. And what you're presupposing is that you can't earn a living and, more importantly, build a life with your greatness and your gifts. And I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. You absolutely can. And I've got way more references maybe than you do of people from all over the world who have done it. But you have to know who you are. Self-awareness. You know, every single dollar, I call it the 1 by 10 formula. Every single dollar you invest in your own advancement, your development, your own self-awareness is going to return to you at minimum, very conservatively, 10 times over. The 1 by 10 formula. Every single hour you invest in your own self-awareness, your own self-awakening, your own advancement, development, and growth is going to return to you minimally, very conservatively, 10 times over. The number one work you can do is to work on your own self-awareness and awakening. Does that make sense to you? Decide what you're here to do. Number 2, choose that you're willing to trade your life for this thing. Now that sounds intense, I know. But let me tell you something that maybe you're not thinking about yet. You are currently trading your life for how you earn your living. Already. You know, if you're in the 71% club, you're trading your life to be miserable. Now that's hard medicine. But it's true nonetheless. You know, I told you I'm not here to make you feel better. I'm here to make you be better, because as you become better, you're going to automatically feel better. Whatever you're up to, think about this. You spend more time earning your living than you do with the people you love the most. You spend more time, unless you're on point and on purpose and you're really living your greatness and your genius and your gifts, which if you are, congratulations, keep it up. But if you're not, you spend more time doing the things you don't love so that you can hopefully have some time to do the things that you love. Hopefully have some time to do the things you're here to do. You know, the vast majority of people are going to work at a job they hate, worried that they're going to lose it. What sense does that make? I hate this job, but oh my God, I hope I don't lose it, right? And they're working 8, 10 hours, maybe 12 hours a day, so they can maybe have a weekend to do what they really love to do. So they can maybe have a vacation so they can be with the people they love the most. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense at all. And so you've got to choose that you're willing to trade your life for your greatness, to give your entire life to it. You know, I posted earlier, maybe you saw it here on Facebook, I posted early this morning, 4 a.m. I'm in the 4 a.m. club. Most ultimate performers are at least 5 a.m. But nonetheless, I posted, you know, top of the morning this morning that all the ultimate athlete can do is leave everything on the field. All the great artist can do is give his or her entire heart and soul to their work. You got to do both. You got to leave it all on the field. You got to give everything you've got. You got to go to bed every single night, tired but inspired, looking back across your day and knowing, hey, I lived my gifts. I used my gifts. I developed my gifts. I lived my own life. I walked my own path. People may not understand me because I'm a monomaniac. I got one thing to do. I'm riding that one horse. I'm not going to try and ride 2 and 3 horses because that can't be done, not masterfully. I got my one horse and I'm going to ride it. I'm going to give it everything I've got. And then third, even if others don't understand or agree with you, and it's the tough part, even if other people don't understand or agree with you, you've got to do it anyway. And you've got to learn to condition yourself that that's a sign. The fact they don't understand you or agree with you is a sign that you're up to something great. You know, a quick perusal of history will prove to us very quickly that any new idea, any new thing, any new concept, anyone who walks a different walk is never accepted. Never accepted right out of the chute. First they're attacked, then they're ridiculed, and then typically after the opposition dies, whatever they're up to becomes self-evident, right? As I said, I mentioned Jobs. You know, a lot of people didn't like Jobs when he was alive. A lot of people who worked for him didn't like working for him because he held such a high standard. And now he's a hero. Now he's a hero. Why? He was a monomaniac on a mission. He was a supreme artist, and he was here to do what he knew he had to do, and it didn't matter. He wasn't here to make friends. He wasn't here to make enemies either. Neither are you. You're here to make an impact. You're here to make a difference. It's not that you don't care. Please don't misunderstand me that it's this arrogance of, hey, I don't give a shit what you think. No, it's not about that at all. You do care. You care enough to be who you are. You care enough to bring your greatness, gifts, and genius to the world, no matter what. You care enough to be an example of possibility to all those that surround you. Awaken the Titan. It's time. The world needs you. The universe is waiting for you because only you can do what you do. Now, I told you I had a surprise for you. Next week, we're going to do a very special From Ordinary to Extraordinary. I'm going to be in the studio next week in Orlando, Florida, shooting a brand new program called Productivity Hacker. You like that title? Productivity Hacker, where I'm going to be sharing all the hacks that I have studied over, an almost 30-year career that I've used with all my clients and I've used with myself to increase your productivity by 10x, 20x, to find you more time to bring your Titan, to bring your greatness, to bring your genius to the world. Because the only thing you can really master is your use of time. It's the number one resource that you've been given. And most people are wasting it. So next week, I'm going to be at this hour, at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard. It'll be, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock in Orlando. And I will be shooting that program live. So here's what we're going to do. You click the link that's here. It's already listed here above my head, I think. Click the link. It's absolutely free to you as a member of my community. It's a beta test of this new program. It's going to be almost a $2,000 program when it's completed. And, click the link. You can attend live. It's on next Thursday and Friday out of Orlando. And the cool thing about doing it live is that when you register, not only is it free for you, but we're going to stop and do Q&As. We're going to talk about, and dive deeper live in real time. I'm working with an Emmy award-winning producer there in Orlando. It's going to be a great program. He's going to co-host it with me, so I'd love to have you there. Just click the link. It's free to join for you, and I will see you next week live for Productivity Hacker. I want to just tell you thank you so much for being part of my community. It means the world to me, and it means the world to me for those of you who share this. Please share this. Give this gift to people that you care and love. And until we speak again, as always, be great, okay? And stay awake. Stay awake. See things clearly. Love life. All of it. The ups and the downs. Right? The scary stuff and the beautiful stuff. And be epic. God bless.